Lol.
Good day, and welcome to TheOneLol channel. Today we'll take a look at 4-star Punisher. Yes, I finally got him 4-star Punisher. Also, yes, opening crystals, open 10 at a time. Open 5 at a time, and I managed to get Punisher. And let's spin some arena crystals before I just finish opening up this batch of arena crystals. So 4-star Punisher, after more than a year, is finally in my hands. There's a shiny 4-star Punisher. Even got a 3-star by the side to accompany them. Company 4-star Punisher have the 3-star as well. So basically, let's take a look at 4-star Punisher Frank Castle. So finally, after so many months, finally Punisher has decided to just break up the crystal and join my party. So Punisher, he always likes to take justice into his own hands. His version of justice. He fights for his justice, fight for what he thinks is right. Kind of like more of an independent kind of character most of the time. And in this game, we have his classic costume, the big red, big white and black skull costume. Do you think criminals will be afraid when they see someone with this skull costume, and then they will just laugh at the costume? I don't know. It just seems so weird. Maybe the costume could be more scarier or darker, but then again, it's just kind of interesting, There's this like a full kind of like bands, something like represent the teeth of the skull. The skull is not a big fan of that skull, but just kind of interesting kind of costume. Say 4-star Punisher. The 4-star Punisher, one of the harder to get champions for me. Finally, I got him. Use my signature stone on him and awaken him. So once awakened, he has a chance to, not die by defying pain. It's just typical Frank Castle stuff. He's highly pain resistant, very tough fighter, not much special abilities. Just a very high skilled, proficient fighter, an ex-soldier. Fights for justice. Dislike people who just twist the law to their whims. Dislike people who abuse loopholes. He enforces the law. And he just dislikes criminals a lot. And he fights them, kills them. Have no qualms about killing his enemies, unlike some characters such as Spider-Man. Spider-Man doesn't really kill his opponents, just send them to jail. So Punisher is more of a brute in that sense. So 4-star Punisher, kind of cool character. It'll be interesting to see whether they'll release the alternate costume of Frank Castle. Maybe a Franken Castle would be cool. Franken Castle, he does have a very interesting Franken kind of costume. Cool kind of mechanical kind of Franken Castle. Franken Castle came about after his death at the hands of Duncan. Castle was resurrected by a Morbus and a legion of monsters as a patchwork Frankenstein-like creature to help him against, samurai folks by mysterious Hellsguard, who kill monsters for not being good. First, Frank refused to help him out, disappeared into sewers. The living mummy later tried to reason him and show him Movement's armory. Basically, be interesting to see whether they'll come up with Franken Castle in this Marvel Contest of Champions. I do like his Fury Gain. He's a very nice fighter in terms of his third special attack. Third special attack does a lot of damage, especially his third special attack bleed is bleed damage almost like 3 times as much as the first special. The bleed damage for his first special attack is like 100. So it was 3 times, and it lasts over a shorter duration of time. Because it lasts over a shorter duration of time, people with willpower will not be able to heal as much. And because it lasts for a shorter period of time, it should bleed take will be a lot more. And because it lasts for a shorter period of time, sometimes you may just need to kill off your opponents faster. His third special attack does a lot of damage, which I like. Second special attack is not bad, but third special attack is where he shines. First special attack, you do need to be careful because you do not want your opponent to heal, especially because the first special attack tends to give 2 instances of bleed sometimes, and your opponent will just heal it off. So you need to be careful with that. He's a skill champion. Not many skill champions lately. Not many new skill champions lately. I've had a new skill champions hype so far. I mean, the new story quest, you don't see the new Miss Marvel, you don't see she's not a skill character. Agent Venom's not a skill character. I don't see Rick Hawk being a skill character. So maybe it would be quite nice to see any. It'd be quite a fresh breath of fresh air if you see any new skill characters. Skill characters not getting a lot of love lately. So now let's awaken 4-star Punisher. That's the awakening gem. Use the gem on 4-star Frank Castle. So Frank Castle, how frank is he? Does he like to talk to the point? I don't know. Frank Castle. He first appeared in 1974 in the Marvel Comics Amazing Spider-Man issue number 129 if I'm not wrong. So it's quite old really in terms of the comic history, like more than 41 years. Wow, actually 42 years. Wow, that is a very long history of Frank Castle. So this, we'll take a look at his first special attack, Street Justice, or I call it let your opponent heal via willpower. Not very effective unless you're about to finish your opponent, or maybe if your opponent doesn't have willpower, you'll be fine. Not bad. But if your opponent has willpower, please do not use this because you'll regret it when they just heal back everything you just dealt to them. So that is what I have for you. Kinda nice when you see the skull. You can see the skull like where the skull is being hit against. Sometimes you can see the skull just like shows a pic. You just feel like the skull is like moving and being like noting itself. Kind of like cool little stuff, cool little animation stuff that makes this character kind of interesting. Not really sure what material are those the teeth representation made of. But it's kind of like where you keep the ammos. Not really, right? Almost like kind of like a structure attached to the costume. It'd be nice if they allow us to like they have a explanation of the character's costume, maybe a brief history of the character costume and the interface. That would be a great addition. More lore additions would be kind of cool. People get to know more about the characters instead of just using them to just purely fight. They can get to learn more about the costumes that the BAM has picked for them, why they decided to pick this costume, how is it relevant in the Marvel Contest of Champions series. So you can see this Frank Castle is not exactly young. He has mustache, he's a bit old, he's a bit darker in skin, he's seen a lot of sun lately, and a bit of that sunshine in him. Now he's just fighting Iron Man. So probably Iron Man, he's just a very rich person. Punisher just doesn't like rich people that just abuse loopholes in law, so maybe Punisher just want to teach his Iron Man a lesson, so he does a payback. The name of his third special attack does a lot of damage, as you can see, especially the bleed. Bleeds for a lot, so let's take a look at that. It's in slower motion, 1 punch, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and lots of fires. This gun is not really effective against his armor, but they just pretend that it is very effective against armor. The Grand Launcher is pretty effective. Wow, the bleed damage is 236, way more than the bleed damage you saw in his first special attack, which was not that much, about 1/3, slightly more than 1/3 of the bleed damage, less than 1/3. It's a big on the duration as well. So it's a fast duration, so fast you very quickly get the damage. It's bleed onto the target, compared to getting it over a longer period of time, which is not very good against opponents with willpower, such as this opponent. And this is second special attack, Punishment. If it crits, you do significantly more damage. If it crits on every one of those hits, you do a lot of damage. But most of the time, it doesn't crit on every single one of damage unless you have very high crit boosts, crit rate boosts and stuff like that. And now let's take a look at his third special attack against Rocket. So maybe Rocket, he's just galactic stuff, so do a lot of weird, ethical stuff behind people's backs, or maybe just Punisher just want to give Rockets his very own payback. So Rocket trying to defend himself from getting punished by Punisher for doing all the galactic stuff, like trying to capture Star-Lord and be some weird kind of stuff, mercenary stuff which he disliked. Maybe that's why Punisher want to give Rocket the payback. You can see the agony in Rocket's eyes. He realized that this is not going to be one of those matches where he just fires his gun and gets away with it. Very pleased for Mother saying that the mirror behind him is very precious and should kind of relic, but Punisher doesn't care, just smack him towards the ancient mirror. Rocket there lamenting the destruction of some heritage of the plague of the ancient mirror. And that's all. Thank you for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. See you again soon. Goodbye.